Letter 2.
When we theists mention evolution, we actually mean emergence of living beings in current form, starting from simple naturally available material on earth, with slow transformation.
Wrong. The word theist includes more than just creationists. It also includes many of the leading minds in evolution science, the people who actually understand what the word evolution, information, and abiogenesis actually mean. It also includes the physicist who first conceived the laws of thermodynamics, who was opposed to evolution, but who still admitted that his laws pose no threat to evolution, even if he might wish that it did. Thank you for confirming my suspicion. You cannot argue that thermodynamics poses any threat for evolution unless you create a straw man fallacy by defining evolution, biogenesis, information, and thermodynamics all into things that none of these words actually mean. If your premise is faulty, your conclusion will almost certainly be faulty too. That you won't distinguish abiogenesis from evolution, even when you recognize your error, is telling. But the fact that you don't even understand the transition from single cell to metazoic symbiosis paralyzes your argument even more. As has already been demonstrated multiple times in recent years, information actually can arise without intelligence by a simple supply of energy, given the right environment and sequence of catalysts. This applies even to the spontaneous formation of self-assembling replicated polymers like RNA. I learned a long time ago that you cannot simply tell a creationist something he doesn't want to understand because he has already dismissed it even before he knows what it is. Neither can you show him something he is determined not to see. The trick is to get him to think. The best way to do that is to ask him questions and hold him accountable for the answers, if you can prevent his escape. Part missing, skipping 2. How do you explain the fact that natural selection, sexual selection, and genetic drift have all been proven to have predictive effect in guiding this variant, both in scientific literature and experiment demonstration? How do you explain the fact that specific mutations such as additions, duplications, and transposons do increase genetic information and change it to new information? How do you explain the fact that significant beneficial mutations do occur and are inherited by descendant groups, and that multiple independent set of biological markers exist which trace these lineages backwards over many generations and even join sister taxa with parent clades? How do you explain the fact that birds are a subset of dinosaurs in the same way that humans are a subset of apes, primates, eutherian mammals, and vertebrate deuterostome animals? How do you explain the fact that the collective genome of all animals has been traced to its most basal form through reverse sequencing, and those forms are also indicated by comparative morphology, physiology, and embryological development, as well as through chronological correct placement of successive stages revealed in the geological column? How do you explain the fact that everything on Earth has obvious relatives either living nearby or evident in fossil records, and that the fossil records hold hundreds of definitely transitional species, even according to the strictest definition of the term? How do you explain the fact that both microevolution and macroevolution have been directly observed and documented dozens of times, both in the lab and naturally controlled conditions in the field, and that these instances have all withstood critical analysis in peer review? Part skip. How do you explain the fact that while of the above comments are verifiable, accurate evidence of biological evolution, you have neither facts nor hypothesis nor evidence of any factual nature to declare for any other postulation you'd care to present?